Alright guys, it is entirely possible that I went a little overboard. Little bot crazy. Got the bot fever. As you can see, I've built a lot more bot builder machines here, including speed modules and other modules. Mainly that was so that I could build the last piece of power armor, which I did, and filled it with exos, and we are now supersonic speeds cars. The days of cars are long past, so pretty excited about that. Also did a bunch of other stuff here. This is a big power suck right here. This thing, especially the module, is just constantly cranking all the time. They're at a standstill right now because I bottlenecked them down to 100, but even so, the base is a big power drain right now. So I added another bay of solar panels here. So we've got well, they're not radared up, but there's a bunch of solar panels here powering the entirety of the base. And even so, it's still barely just chugging along. See, we're actually not even making enough right now. That's a nighttime temporary problem occasionally, but so yeah, we're not making enough power. One good thing to note though is that we are making the things for nuclear power, so that's forthcoming. Not yet, but soon. Another thing I've been doing is I created this upgrade planner, which is an awesome thing. I've never used any upgrade planner mods before, so this is really cool and really new to me. But yeah, I just basically have been going around and replacing all of the belts with blue belts in a lot of the machines here, since we're at that point in the game. Bots make that really easy. I'm glad I'm not doing it by hand. So anyways, we are bleeding this place dry with our latest round of research. We are delivering materials as fast as we possibly can and processing them as fast as we possibly can. I even increased the length of these smeltery bays so that the belts could be more saturated. Even having done that, they're still not quite all the way saturated. So we need to improve some of our logistics setups to make sure that that's the case. But things are being worked through very, very quickly, and it's very exciting. One thing you'll also notice is this concrete building machine that I've set up here. So I had to bring iron ore down to this area here, and then some water. And then I brought concrete back onto the bus, and that helps us because we actually need concrete to make all of our really important nuclear machines here. So yeah, all said, a lot of stuff since last episode. A lot of it mostly just infrastructural changes and prepping, but this will make everything we want to build in the future super, super fast. One thing we're not doing anywhere at all is using beacons, and I think we're going to save that for the mega base when we build bigger machines, more modular machines. So yeah, we are set up for success here. I need to spend a little more time with our power grid. I'll probably set up another bay of solar panels here, and then that should tide us over until we get nuclear power running. So yeah, exciting stuff ahead. So I'm kind of just trying to figure out what we should do here. It looks like you can see our material coming in not perfectly. I feel like one of the next things I want to do is set up a better train system so we can offload more material. So you see how there's 4 train bays. That means I can have 5 trains on this track without any risk of them getting in each other's way. I actually have 7. So technically this is not a very good setup because they'll get backed up right here and then they'll block the other trains. It's just a bad system. So in order to have more trains, and probably I think bigger trains to deliver more lanes of material, I'm going to utilize this space up here. Whoop. This is what I cleared this space out for in the first place. So I'm going to have a much bigger area for the trains to offload, and then I'll probably have more belts coming off of each. And then I'll have a discrete train for iron and one for steel, because this one's split between iron and steel. So when we're using a ton of everything, it's not very scalable. Look at this super fast car. almost as fast as me just running. Just kidding, it's way slower. So yeah, I mean, I think that's probably going to be the first area that I'm going to work on here. In the meantime, I'm just going to also do a bunch of upgrading of these simple machines that I've had sitting here forever. This is how you really see exactly how many green chips we're making. Pretty bad up there. Granted, we do have 2 stations that are making green chips, so we do have a supplemental down here, but for this poor blue chip manufacturing machine, it's almost nothing because the red steals plenty, and even the red barely has any. Bleak. Need to set this up a lot better. And the circle of life continues. Turn my old crap into new crap. One important thing I've been wanting to figure out is just exactly where is my spawn point. So we're going to take a brief moment and do some investigating here. Oh, come here, buddy. Come on. Oh, okay, this guy's got me for sure. It's a race. Copper versus iron. Iron's going to win. Come on, do it already. Yeah! Oh, thought it would definitely kill me, but okay. All right, so we brought a little chest over here with a thing of copper plate, and we're gonna hopefully be able to reach it from where we spawn. Hey, look at that, right next to it. And then plop it down exactly on spawn. So that's our spawn point right there. And I'd like to, well, I need to go get my stuff. I did have some trash in my trash slots. I want to have a really clear idea of where my spawn is. So, gonna leave that there next to our little buddy here. And yeah, we'll just make sure that we don't obstruct that location with any train stuff that we do up here. All right, now let's get down to business to actually do some train stuff. One thing I need to do is move this. Not a very good junction, is it? Oh well, we're building all new ones quite soon here, so. No, stop it. Don't build that. I hate it when you place a ghost you didn't want. It's disgusting. This really is a bad junction, isn't it? Really needs a lot of work. Oh. Sure unblocked that train. Okay, the trains are moving. We've got a bunch of space here to play around. So one thing I want for sure is to have trains that are 2, 4, 2. So 2 locos, 4 cargos, and then 2 more locos. So let's just, we should actually grab some locos and cargos to see how long that is, and that'll help guide. By the way, have we talked about this? They updated the Iron Sprite, as well as the other stone-like sprites. And it looks really raw and gritty now. It's less like shiny and smooth, so I think overall, yeah, I like it. At first it was really rubbing me the wrong way. It looked so sandy and rough. It was like, felt wrong. Felt really jarring and high contrast, but I don't know, I like it now. This is how it works now. Whenever we get to a machine that's not building something, or we find an item that's not being built by one of our machines, we just go and build it. 242 is actually pretty long here, isn't it? That's a serious boy. I wonder if we're going to be able to get the amount of material we need in this limited amount of space here. Like, this should be gone. I mean, it's taking forever to go away because there's only a couple machines. Oh, you know what? Here. There you go, buddies. So it's taking a while to get through this stuff. I'm just leaving all this stuff here until this is completely mined dry. But there's no reason why our stuff can't extend that way. Oh, the spawn point. Ooh. Yeah. I don't really want to go over the spawn point. Okay, well, let's just try it. Let's build something and see what we can do here. It's so nice how they put those white rectangles on the track when you have an inserter close to the track. Like, you don't even really have to think about it. You just are like, oh, that's helpful. Regular chests is probably the safest move. Starting to feel like maybe this is a bit overkill, and that we might just be better off with a 1-2-1 train. Alternatively, we could have the material offloading just a little bit cleaner. So what this does is each grabber has a place to put it, and then they combine onto an even belt, and then that even belt goes onto another belt. So it reduces the throughput for sure, but basically guarantees a condensed line. I don't really like how wide this is, so we'll pick this up and go with the slimmer model. Okay, so that, how does this translate into a waiting station? The simplest way to do it is to loop around like this, kind of like we're doing it down there, wiener shape style. One thing I'd also really like these to be able to do is, you notice how in our train track down here, everything comes in on this line, right? That iron train. You basically, if this copper train was leaving, he would have to wait till it was done. You know, those kinds of holdups are not optimal. So having them all exit out the top and converge onto a main track might actually be a lot better, because the sooner we get these guys out, the better. The sooner we get them in, the better. The less they have to cross adjacent to it, the better. Still haven't really designed a good intersection. We're just using these big roundabouts right now. They're not even symmetrical, so we'll have to come up with something better than that. So I've decided a lot of what I want to do is actually pretty contingent on me having a good intersection plan. So I decided to spend a little time just designing a intersection that can take 2 lanes in each direction. So it'll be 4 lanes, right? And then it would create 2 roundabouts from those two those 2 lanes. So yeah, we're gonna work on that for a little while. This looks like it might end up being kind of hard to wire, especially with things like this close to each other. It ends up making things really hard to wire. Now the center, I would like to have a nice clean roundabout here. So I'm going to again copy and paste to ensure that it is 90 degrees symmetrical. So the problem is that you can never get in between these areas to create signals, so it's too tight. Uh-oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. Now I need to take this train and tell it to go to a parking lot. All right, I'm gonna just drive this thing out of here. Can I turn right here? I don't think I can. Yeah, cannot. So if I want to take a direct right from the inside lane, I actually have to go all the way around and then out, which I do not like. Yeah, looks very much like it's gonna work. Can I signal it? I can signal it, but I can't signal this one still, obviously. It won't prevent a train from going through there, but it might slow some stuff down. Okie dokie. Got something relatively usable here, question mark? Yeah, what I'd really like to be able to do is cut the line right here, which is unfortunate. Because I want a train that's going straight through here to not be blocked by one that's going straight through here. So that's a big problem for me, unfortunately. It basically means I need to get this outside curve started further back. So that opens things up. In fact, it'll allow for this. All right, so that's a pretty big intersection. Not the greatest thing in the world to have these intersections be so huge. Okay, so I got 2 extra trains going to parking too. Oh boy, they can't fit. The oil can't drop off. Luckily, we're not going through a whole lot of oil, but this parking lot is a problem now. It needs to be bigger. I didn't realize it was so small. Oh, there really isn't enough room here, is there? Not even close. Temporary stations for the win. Whoever's idea that was is a genius. All right. After much deliberation, I think I've got something I want to go with. I tried a bunch of different roundabout style intersections of varying widths and sizes, but ultimately I decided to just go back down to 1 entry and exit lane in each direction. After all, I think I'll probably be revamping a lot of the train stuff for the mega base. Right now, we just need something that works, and this will work quite well. So any train that goes on this route, you know, to take a simple right turn or to go straight, won't interfere with another train that's already taking another route through this roundabout. So multiple trains can go through this roundabout in different directions at the same time without slowing down. So it's better than what we have. It's the same width as a bunch of the rails that we have, so it shouldn't be that disruptive. It'll be really easy to build, so I think that's what we're gonna go with. So what you'll also notice is that to clear out this space that I'm working in right now, I actually ended up pushing the perimeter on the north end and on the northwest end out a bunch. So we used to have a wall right here. And now we actually have our copper and stone inside of the base, and our perimeter is pushed out really far. That came with a few deaths and a little bit of struggle, but anyway, it's over now. Everything's gravy, and it's time to start putting in some of these train stops here. Ultimately, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the train stop style and make 1 big train stop that allows exits for each material. So yeah, I'm not really quite certain on how it's gonna look right now, but that's the road I think I'm going down right now. If not, we'll just end up doing a simple thing like this where we have a train stop that allows for you know, about 4 trains to come through and wait at any given time, and then just keep it simple from there. But we'll see. I need to see how much space we have after we put these intersections in. So yeah, anyways, I'll do that and I will be back in a bit. All right, so we got blueprints for a 4-way junction, 1 for a T junction, and 1 for a turn, which frankly we don't need, but whatever. It'll help keep things consistent when we create a turn that we later want to turn into a T or a 4-way junction. So it's just nice to have. Anyways, I'm gonna place these around and make some room for our train stops, and I will be right back. All right, so after much deliberation, finally come up with something that I think works. It took all of the belting and railing experimentation to figure this out, but essentially what we have here is, you can see there is a 4-train waiting station, and then a drop off, which produces 8 lanes for each train. And it's flipped vertically, so you can see there's one going here that stops while it's heading south. There's one going here that stops while it's heading north. So they're flipped in that way. Oh, this needs to get fuel. And they're dropping off, yeah, 4 cargo trains, which means I had to modify the mines to actually allow for those many cargo trains. So a lot of infrastructural work. Obviously, there was not enough space for all of this, so the perimeter is pushed out. I have a lot of space to deal with this, but even so, I'm using most of it, mostly to fit these junctions that are actually taking up a ton of space. But they allow the trains to enter and exit without getting in each other's way, so it actually ends up being more of a benefit in the long run with longer trains and frequently dropping stuff off, so should be good. Not everything's hooked up. For instance, for this train to drop its stuff off, it has to go this way, which is like a little ridiculous. So anyway, I need to work on getting this side of the trains hooked up and everything like that, but essentially we have a system that feels like it works and it's tileable and there's enough space for everything, so I'm plenty happy. So that should take us through the starter base pretty well here. So there's 4 trains for each, even though we don't need 4 trains for every single product. Whatever, it's fine. Not hurting anything to have more. All right, so we've officially got a coal train delivering coal to the base, which means plastic production is finally unblocked. Since I started doing this train stuff, I haven't been able to make any plastic once my coal ran out. So just follow this line here. It takes us directly to where we're placing coal on the bus, and then the lanes that we're pulling directly into our oil factory. So we should be getting coal here. Oh, and then also, yeah, I forgot about these. Steam engines have been off. So that will also be good to get these things running, just in case we need power at night and the accumulators aren't doing the trick. Very happy we got a logistics setup here that's a little more scalable for the high volume output. So pretty excited to have 16 lanes of iron coming in. But the next step is going to be to add some more mines, because these are really thin, like really narrow and rich. Like this one has 400K, but it doesn't. Not very many miners are supplying it, so they come in really slow. So if you look at the coal, for instance, it's just coming in really thin. So if we were running science right now, it would be not able to keep up. So what we need to do is add some more mines, like go get some more nodes and add some mines, and then have more trains running to more mines, and that'll keep things coming in thick. But that is a problem for the future. Right now, we're just gonna revel in the beauty that is this train network. But I think that's gonna be it for this one. We'll focus on some of those issues next time. So I'll be back.